Welcome again to the Northern Affinity live broadcast on our various channels, Facebook and LinkedIn predominantly for people. So I'm delighted to say I'm here today with Karen Amos from Brightbird Coaching and Training. So I think it's safe to say for all of us that we all want to get better at what we do. We want to improve whatever we're doing, whether it's in our business life or even in personal life as well. But the one thing I think a lot of us maybe struggle is kind of how we do it, what's the best way to do it, and maybe the different circumstances that dictate the different methods. So we're going to talk to Karen about that and hopefully help everyone who's either watching this live or back later as well on the recording of the video. Now, if anyone does have any questions for Karen as we're going along the live, please do put it in the live chat, and we'll try and answer as many as we can. But we'll get going. So obviously I've mentioned who you are, Karen. If you want to kind of give us an introduction, tell us who you are, what you do, and then we'll ask some questions.
Okay, so I'm the owner of Brightbird Coaching and Training, and I support business owners and managers basically feeling the pressure of either performing in their role or managing teams in the workplace. So I specialise in the people part of the business, if you like, and quite often we call that, and I'm going to do the inverted commas of soft skills, but to be honest, as we all know, that people stuff is actually often the hardest thing that we have to do, and the thing that we do off quite often. But what I do is I work within a business context. So whilst I work with people, it's always within the context of the business. That's the point of me being there. That's the point of me working with people, is to actually make the business organisation more successful moving forwards.
Makes sense. So obviously we're in the middle of a situation where his life's changed quite a lot for people individually and business-wise. So how has it kind of affected you in the kind of coaching and training world, and kind of how you're adapting to it all?
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because I suppose if I speak for me and my business, actually it's had a significant impact, but actually in a lot of ways that impact has been positive rather than negative. So what it's meant is for me, I've been wanting to position my business more online for quite some time. I've always had my own coaching online. I've never actually met my coach in person, but I feel that I know her just as well. So what's actually happened is all my coaching clients moved on to online, and we've been doing coaching via Zoom and various apps. That's worked really well. The training aspect I did face to face, and obviously all of that literally overnight was postponed. Any proposals out there were postponed. So what I've actually done is I've been working really hard over the last few weeks to shift everything online. For me as a business, that's great, because where people before couldn't really see the value in it or thought it was second best, and now I'm able to demonstrate to people actually we can still get lots out of this. And in most cases, what they're taking away is equally as good as what they have in person. So it's a real strange one, because I know so many people, and I've been trying to support as many people as I can with their businesses personally, just to get on track, stay on track. So I know it's been tough for lots of people, and people like you, Michael, any parents with kids at home at the moment, just respect, really. But I think there are opportunities there. And like I said, for me, it's been a real mixed bag, I've got to say. But like I said, largely positive.
That's great to hear. I guess potentially what all this has done is not had a massive change, going from something that wasn't there at all, but it's kind of maybe accelerated what was going on anyway. And given, as you quite rightly said, and I found this a lot, people who maybe were very reluctant or saw video as a second best or a worst case scenario are all of a sudden embracing it, and that's for people.
Yeah, absolutely that. And I a lot of the stuff I do is around increasing people's productivity and things like that. And I've worked out this last few weeks, I've saved at least 15 hours a week traveling time, at least. Now that's an awful lot of time, isn't it, that we could be doing some really good stuff with. And again, my clients have found that, whilst we've met online, they're not having to travel either. So they can have a short period of time, just get their head straight, and they're straight into a coaching session, and then they're straight back out into some work if that's what they choose to do. So, you know, it really has made a lot of positive difference, I think.
I mean, 15 hours is very significant, isn't it? It's 2 working days, give or take. To get that every single week. What's hoping that that'll mean is, you know, people will reevaluate how their working week and month goes, and it might, you know, the whole work-life balance thing. It might help this hugely, and one of these trends that are kind of being accelerated by all this.
Yeah.
So that's great to hear. One thing I was very keen to ask you about is, so there's coaching, there's training, there's mentoring as well. You can probably kind of all go in this same bubble.
Yeah.
What are the differences?
So I guess the best way I explain it, if I start with coaching, coaching is a way to help people maximize their performance. Now, I know we'd say that about mentoring and training as well. But I think in simple terms, if we look at coaching as a concept, is somebody is in a place that isn't great for them. It's not where they want to be, and it's helping them work out where they do want to be that's better and how to get there. So we can do that one-to-one. So I do, for example, with either senior leaders, it could be people at the shop floor, it could be teams. But we work with people through a process of using questions, psychological tools and approaches that shifts them from where they are now to where they want to be. From the point of view of mentoring and training, really, if you think about coaching's ask, so what we're doing is we're not providing the answers to somebody, we're actually helping them, the person or the team, find their own solutions. Because what fits for me wouldn't fit for you or somebody else. So mentoring is more about, and training about, having somebody who's more experienced, more knowledgeable in that area, and they're imparting their knowledge and their experience. The problem is that lots of people don't really know the difference between mentoring and coaching in particular. So mentoring's more tell, if you think, coaching's more ask. And actually, there's a place for both. I do both. I do coaching and mentoring, but I'm clear about when I'm doing either. Certainly in my training with Brightbird, because I'm so passionate about the benefits of coaching, that I do try and embed elements of coaching in everything I do. So I'm not just stood there lecturing to somebody. It's really not my style anyway. But is what I look at doing is embedding coaching through that. So we use lots of coaching tools. So when people have done the training, I share some knowledge, but they're actually equipped to go away and use that and put that in place in a really practical way. But again, to summarise, I guess I'd say is if you think about coaching being ask and exploring and opening out, and mentoring training being more about tell and imparting knowledge, is probably the best way that I'd explain that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess that for a lot of people, the end of the day, the whole thing of whether it is coaching, training, or mentoring is you want to be better than when you started or what you do. So I guess picking and choosing the right methodology at the right time is key to that.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that is right, and you know, I do say to people that, and particularly when I'm training around coaching and coaching skills, you know, I say to people, I'm not saying that mentoring's wrong. I'm not saying, you know, let's look at the difference between coaching and mentoring because you must stop mentoring. So when I'm working with somebody, I want to give my clients value. There is no point me sat there with them asking question after question when they're genuinely stuck. They're out of resources, they don't know the answer. I've actually some knowledge or experience that would help them. But what I do say to them is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my coach hat off at the moment. I'm going to put my mentor hat on because I've some information I think might help you. I'll give them the information. What I'll then, and this hat on and off is for my own benefit, really, is I'm taking now my mentor hat, I'm putting my coach hat back on and saying, what do you think to that? Is that something you can use? And there's the difference between the two, and that's why it's really important for people who are coaches and or mentors that they actually recognise the difference when they're actually working with people.
Yeah, so it's not just about knowing when to start that, but making sure that the person who's on the, should we say, the receiving end is aware of what is going on, the difference. That's important as well.
Yeah, and there's a real power difference there if you think about it. That if I'm going to go and just impart knowledge all the time, I'm actually putting myself in a much more powerful position. Whereas I see, and certainly the way that I approach coaching, what I describe it is I walk shoulder to shoulder with my clients. We walk forward together where we're going. And I'm there to support them to do that, not to make them or coerce them into something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so from a point of view, just kind of specifically on coaching, then. Now, also, I know you've worked with a lot of people, and everybody's experiences and will be different. But kind of generally speaking, what are the benefits that someone would get by being coached? And that could be any environment, whether it's business, sport, whatever. What generally the benefits that people get?
Yeah. I mean, what I would say, I mean, certainly from the kind of coaching that I do, because quite often with sports coaching, it is more instructional, really. And quite often what people would describe as business coaching, it does lead, if you think of sort of that spectrum of coaching and mentoring, that leads more to the mentoring. Certainly the coaching that I do, because it is more ask, and what it does is it enables people who are often really stuck. And we've all been in that position at some point, and you just don't know what the answer is, or you do know what the answer is, but you've no idea how to get there. It's what my old mentor used to call you trying to move the rug and you stood on it, which I just thought was a brilliant analogy, because I'm sure that all of us at some point have experienced that. So what it's really about doing is helping that person move from that place to somewhere they never actually dreamed was possible. Now, this isn't all woo-woo and pie in the sky and things like that, but we're very self-limiting in our thinking. And we use terms like, well, I'm never able to do that, and people like me don't, or I never can. And you know what? That's right. So what we'll look at is changing that mindset into a more positive, more problem-solving mindset that says, okay, I'm here now. It's not great. Where do I want to be? Okay, how am I going to get there? What do I need? What can I do? But can you see the language is much more positive? And that is so powerful for people. So they'll use coaching in a certain aspect of their life or work, but actually has a huge impact then right across the board. Certainly for businesses, if you think about coaching from a leadership point of view and being more effective, with teams and with managers, that the increase in accountability and responsibility is usually really significant in organizations. That in self, impacts people's targets, what they achieve, and as well, thinking about leaders and managers in particular, but around confidence and what I term being comfortable in your own skin. We've all done it, and again, thinking back to sort of early days of management, and you have an idea of what a manager should be like, and it's not you, and you're trying to be it. And I just say to people, look, we've all got the capacity to be fantastic at what we do. We just need to allow ourselves permission to be able to do that and do it well. So again, as coaches, that's what we work on with people, to be able to draw that out so they actually do have the confidence to say, do you know, I'm me, and that's good enough, and I'm going to be really effective being me and doing what I do. I mean, certainly for organisations as well, one of the huge benefits, because I'm quite often asked to work with people, is around things like improved recruitment and retention. If you've got a staff team who are really stressed out, either they're going to leave or go off sick. So there's some real tangible benefits there from a business and productivity point of view and profit point of view to actually get a coach in. And to be honest, who wouldn't want to be an employer of choice? So, that people would want to come and seek you out and come and work for you. And that's the kind of culture that you can build within a business by using coaching and a coaching approach.
Yeah, and you know what? Before you even said the word, one word that came into my mind when you were talking then was confidence, actually. You did say it a couple of times that you started talking about it. And kind of going back to the question I asked before is, if we're talking about coaching, probably a lot of people watching this, high-profile coaching, we think of sports coaches that we're all aware of. And we probably think about one of their real key skills is essentially instilling confidence in their team. But we probably don't think it about as much in the business environment. We don't maybe hear that too, and I think that's probably a key thing. Do you think that is a really important part of what a good coach could do for someone? It is, understand the importance of confidence.
Yeah, well, and if you think about it, when you think about confidence, it's about belief, isn't it? Really, I believe I can do this. I believe I can make a good job of this. I believe I'm a good person. I believe I can be the sort of manager people would want to work with. And with that comes a confidence that you're actually able to go and things like decision making and things like that. Again, they can become, comfortable with that. Because actually what you're seeing for some real practical, tangible results from it. And it could be everything from, how you communicate with people to, like say, how you deal with difficult situations, all sorts of things. But absolutely, and you're right, once you've got that and people are comfortable and confident with where they are, the sky's the limit to some extent, really.
Absolutely. So when someone comes to you and kind of starting the whole journey of coaching, what are the typical, I guess, issues that people have that they've kind of identified that, well, I need coaching, or someone's identified that someone else needs coaching? Again, everybody's individual, but I'm sure there's probably some trends there that you see with people.
Yeah, there are. I mean, certainly quite often I am called into coaching. I've talked about that, trying to move the rug, but you stood on it. But actually, a manager or a business owner just feeling really frustrated that they can either find the time or the means just to move things forward. They know where they want to be, where they'd like to be. They just can't find the means to unstick themselves. So that's one area. And another one is, and we've talked about, things like stress, that actually people might be going off sick, or there might be lots of conflict within a team, and the manager might be struggling to deal with that, or the team is very unproductive because of it. And again, that can lead to stress, to sickness absence within organisations. So again, I'll go and work with people, either with the team or with the manager, to build up the skills to manage difficult conversations, to manage conflict, and again, pull the team together. It might be team coaching, to do some problem solving work with them. Particularly at a time like this, think about the changes that people are having to deal with, and for managers managing remote teams as well, and very disparate teams at the moment. So it really is lots of different kinds of team effectiveness, and like I said, things like time management as well, and productivity, and how that overlaps with well-being and things like work-life balance. They're all tied in really together. So yeah, those are the kinds of times that people come to me.
Absolutely. So the question is, I try to ask as many people as I can, is you will know that collaboration is very important for me, and a big thing that I focus on. So for you and what you do, what type of, whether it's people or businesses, do you find yourself collaborating with?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, quick plug or whatever, but this is what I absolutely love about the Northern Affinity, to be honest, because that's what it's about. It's not about selling to each other, So, and I've made some really good associations with members of the Northern Affinity, particularly things for me like HR companies, for example. Quite often my clients pop up in HR because there's an HR issue or a grievance or a performance issue, and they deal with the legal side of things and what have you, but actually there's still that performance issue to address. So I will work with the person or with the team or with the manager individually then and support them. Other things is because, and I was just talking to somebody about this yesterday, is that we can and shouldn't be experts in everything. So, for example, if there's some particular business strategy issue or sales, marketing, I will work with those people and be able to provide a more wraparound service. Other things like VAs and legal. So anybody providing business services, really, that they're the sort of people that would encounter then in their work that there's performance issues somewhere. So I tend to work alongside them to say, yeah, okay, you do the HR bit, you do the legal bit, I'll do the people bit, if you like.
Okay. Now we've had a question, so I will ask that question from, and you'll see it on the screen. It's kind of hiding his face a little bit, from Jeremy. So would you describe yourself, Karen, then as a mindset coach, or do you work to establish an open mindset for your clients and then move on to whatever the issues are? It's a really good question. Kind of, I guess, it's a bit of a chicken and egg type question.
It is, yeah. I mean, I guess from my individual, and I can only talk on this one from my own experience as a coach and how I approach coaching. I would say that mindset runs through my coaching, and positive mindset is an outcome to it. But actually, what I'm doing is I'm working on other issues. So if we take, back to the confidence issue, let's say there's a leader who's lacking in confidence. We'll work on that, but actually what we're looking at is, so what will that in practical terms look like if we knew we'd succeeded? What would be happening? What would you be doing? But in doing that, what we actually do is probably build up a more positive mindset for that person. Things like the life scripts that we tell ourselves, that thing of, that's out, people like me can't, I'll never be able to, is actually shifting those things. And that's the bit that's about mindset. But like I said, that's almost the stuff that runs through it like a stick of rock, really, whilst I address specific issues with people.
Perfect. Thank you, Karen, and thank you for the Obviously, if anybody has watched the video, get in contact with you for whatever reason, Karen, find out more about what you do, where are the best places to find you?
So I have a website, that's www.bright-bird.co.uk. I'm also post lots on social media, so LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Brightbird Coaching and Training, and I post lots of stuff around leadership, time management, well-being, all kinds of things, but all related to the world of work management. So yeah, so you can check me out there and give me a follow too. That would be great.
Brilliant, Karen. And as always, obviously, if anyone wants, if you can't find Karen on any of them platforms for whatever reason, please, contact us at Northern Affinity, and we've got all Karen's details, so that's absolutely fine. So yeah, firstly, thank you, Karen, for your time. It's been really, really interesting and really useful. And thank you for everyone watching. So yes, thank you very much, Karen.
Okay, thanks, Michael.
Thanks. Have a good day.